Thank you for joining me for another episode of Draw and Code Scratch Jr. And this is a holiday edition. And one of my favorite holiday movies and story is How the Grinch Stole Christmas. And this is a Where's Max game. So let's check out our program. Max is off to the forest. He's going to hide from the Grinch, and we have to find him before we find the Grinch. So we start looking under the trees here. Let's see. No, nothing yet. Nothing yet. Uh-oh. We got the Grinch. Game over. Go back to start. And so it'll go back to our title screen, and then we start again. Now this time, and the good part about this is we know where the Grinch is. So we can change him up later, and I'll show you how to do that with the code. But we know where he is. We're going to try to find Max. He's up in that part of the forest. Now, it does get a little trickier here. This is a kind of a magical forest. Max, the trees are moving all over the place. It's a little harder to find and remember where Max is, where Grinch is. So let's start out. Let's look for him. We're just going to start tapping the trees. You know you've clicked them when you hear that. Oh, no, we got Grinch that time. So it doesn't go all the way back to the title screen. It'll go back to the second page or the first level. And Max is up there somewhere. There he is. So now let's try again. Let's try this again. See what we can get. Ooh, we got Grinch again. So see how that level is a little harder. And so if that keeps happening, then I might need to adjust it. I mean, if you lose twice, 3 times, that's okay. But if you keep losing, there we go. So we only lost that 2 times, and then we won. We found Max up there. Very cool. So we're going to look at how this program works. And I left a blank page down here so we can kind of start out. The first thing we need to do, though, we're going to have to draw our Grinch character. And so we have 3 main characters, Grinch, Max, and actually the pine trees. Those are our characters in this game. So what I want to do is take the time now to draw Grinch. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's start out by making the Santa hat for Grinch. And so I'm going to make the bottom part, the white ruffly part of the hat. So just kind of make these little ruffled lines. And fill that in white. And then you can decide which direction you want to make your hat fall to. I'm going to make mine go to this way on the right side. Fill that in this red color right here. And I think I'm going to make both of these move down a little bit into the side. And on the bottom here, I'm going to do a roughly white ball for the end. And then we're going to draw the Grinch's face. So go ahead and just make, just going to make him out here. Do some fur on the side of him. Make his face kind of sort of come down to a diamond point shape. Do some more fur on this side. And then up here. We're going to color him Grinch in a nice, maybe a green, this green or the lime green. I like that green there. You notice I colored above this, so I'm going to click the white part of the hat and just drag it so it goes on top of it. Now we're going to draw the eyes, and I'm going to start out with the eyebrows. They're kind of bushy, and they come to a point. I'll draw one on this side. And now we'll put the eyeballs on. Draw sort of a half circle here. And another one here. Fill those in white. And then we're going to put a circle inside of that. So let's use the circle tool. And fill that in black. And then we can even use the stamper tool and stamp that one or rotate it a little bit. If we wanted to, we can make his eyes even yellowish. I'm going to make him kind of look pretty scary there. A lot of times on the nose too, or like right above the nose, we're going to draw these little lines here. Now I'm going to draw the nose. A lot of times I think this nose kind of looks like a scrunched up mushroom. Move that up a little bit. And let's draw that evil smile of the Grinch. And there you have our Grinch. Now that we have Grinch, our Grinch character, now you see I have a few Grinches there. We have our Grinch character. So that is one of our characters. We have Max. Now here's an example of what you could do with Max, because I'm not going to draw out Max and show you step by step. You could use the dog that's already in the program, put an antler on his head. That could be your Max. You could use the Max that I have, okay, and just kind of look at him and draw it from there. Your Max could look however you'd like. I'm sure there's a lot of Max tutorials out there as well. So there's Max. So that's our character. We can keep one or the other. I'm going to get rid of the dog Max there. And then our other character is the pine tree. Now the pine tree was in the program too, and I clicked on that, and it didn't have these snowy splotches on it, okay? So it was just plain, it was blank. So all I did was I added snow to it. Now you can do one pine tree and just add snow to that, or you can do several and change up how the snow looks on it. Okay, so those are our basic 3 characters that we're going to use throughout the game. Now, you might have seen my background, and it's not a regular background. You're welcome to use just a solid color background like blue or black or white. But what I did was I took a picture of actually another computer screen. I found a picture that's called a Creative Commons, and you're allowed to use these pictures online. And so I took a picture of it. And this is kind of what this looks like if I hit the blank page or just paintbrush. Okay. And then I hit camera and I hit my screen, and I can just I'm moving my iPad along here, and I don't want that cursor on top of the screen, so I wouldn't have that. But this is how it works. And then I just click, and there I have my background. I wouldn't leave my cursor, though, on the background. But that is a background. So I picked this background here. We could use that. And so that'll be my background for this last level. Now, on the last level, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with that in a little bit, but this is kind of the basic idea. We have our Grinch, we have our Max, and we have trees, okay? Well, Grinch, we are going to hide to start our program. So just bring this down, click, and he hides them. Do the same thing with Max. He's hiding too. Now you want to put them, you might put them in the center, you might make them larger, those types of things, because when they appear later, they're just going to appear right where they were at, okay? So if I want to make Max larger, I can make him larger there, whatever I want to do. Now the trees, they're going to be on screen. We're going to have them out there on the screen. So basically the trees program looks like this. When I tap it, it disappears. All right. So when I tap that tree, disappears. And that's kind of how you do it with each tree. The only thing is, and I can go back to start button at the top near the green flag. It's the blue arrow. And that resets the program. Now, what else does it do? Well, one of my trees, I'm going to have a lot of trees on there. So I would just hit the plus. I would keep adding trees after tree after tree until I am done adding trees, right? We might just have 4, we might have 5 or whatever. And I'll show you my different ones there. Each tree will have this. When you touch, it disappears. So I can drag it. I'll take it from here, the yellow when you touch button, not here because it'll fall apart. So up, 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 let it click. Now all these trees disappear, disappear, disappear. Okay. So it's not a game yet, right? We have Max, we have Grinch. They're hidden. Where are they at? Well, this is what makes it into the game. We go like this and we send the letter, all right, on one of the trees. And then we pick another tree and we send a different letter. I'm going to use green for the Grinch. Max, I use that orange one because he's kind of the orangish color. So what happens now? Well, the Grinch gets the green letter and he appears, right? Max gets did I make that a green letter? I did not make it green. Max gets the orange letter and he's going to appear. Right? And then you can give the message like you win or next level or whatever you want to say there. All right. So this is kind of what it looks like now. If I click this tree, nothing happened. Click this tree. Nothing happened. Click this tree. Nothing happened. Click this tree. There's the Grinch. Okay. And Grinch comes up. Now, oh, you know why? And I like to find the problems. I noticed that Max didn't appear here. Why? Because I had to hide. He has to appear. So one of these trees would have had Max. There he is. And he would pop up. Okay. So that's kind of what happens. So let's look at my second level and see how many trees I have. So I did the same thing that we just talked about. The only thing I added was I added this pop sound. Okay. To let you know that when you touch that, you hear the noise, you know you've touched something, okay? And then it disappears, right? The other thing that I did add was I added this message that comes back from either Max or the Grinch and tells the trees, all of them, disappear. The reason why I did that is because when I didn't, the trees were on top of Max, they were on top of the Grinch, and you could barely see them. So that's what I added for that one. Now, every tree will have this. And some trees will have the messages to the Grinch or Max, like this one. This has an orange message. Now, I don't think, did we add an orange? Yeah. Max has the orange. Grinch actually had a red. Okay, I might change that. But he had a red message. So you might want to keep the same. It doesn't matter the color of the message, just so it's going to the correct character. So this is the Grinch's program. It says when he gets the letter, he sends the green message. Why do we send the green message? Well, because we want to make all the trees disappear. Every tree has this message. Same with this. Max sends a green message. It makes all the trees disappear. Okay. What else does the Grinch do? Well, he appears or shows. Remember, he's hidden. Then he says game over and then goes back to the first level. Okay. So you can kind of copy that program as you see here. So almost every single tree, all of them have these parts. Oops. All of them have this part and this part. The only thing they have different is some of them have the message to Max or the message to the Grinch. Now, you can make your game harder, right? Grinch is the red guy. So we're using the red message. I'd like to change that to green, but since we already have it. So if I wanted to say add more of these green or red messages so it makes it harder, that'd be cool too. And it'd be harder to find Max and you'd have more Grinches there. Or if you want to change the game, okay, maybe a friend or a grown-up has played your game. They know where the Grinch is on your level. So all you do is you can change it. Like if you had the red message here to the Grinch, you can get rid of it and then put it on a different tree. Okay. Same thing with Max. The second level, we got a little trickier. It's kind of like I said, like a magical forest. On this level, we had everything. All those trees were moving around all over the place. So all of the trees have a program that has the tree, moving to the right and the left and appearing and disappearing. It has this program. They also all have the same program from before, where we touch, makes the pop noise, disappears. The only thing is I added the stop program on the end. And they also get a message from Max and the Grinch. It's over here. It's an orange message this time. Should have kept those all the same color. So this tree looks like this. So you can copy that program down. What you can change are these numbers. This is an easy thing to change. This is just how far right and left it goes. And that will change the program a little bit. It'll change how the trees move. Okay. And so each tree has those. Now, the only thing that, remember, we have to send the message to Max. We have to send the message to the Grinch. So there are certain trees that have that added to it. So let's find one. Here's one. So this is one that has a red message that's been sent to Max. Okay. This time I used red because when I changed the page, I forgot to use the same colors. That color doesn't matter as long as we know that that goes to Max, right? So that tree, this is sending to Max. There's going to be one that sends a green letter or message to Grinch. And here's Grinch's code. I know it looks like a lot of things are happening, but all he's doing is sending a letter to the tree to say disappear. I made him wait a little bit, just like a second or so, and appear. And then I made him grow, and he turns right, turns left 3 times. So he just wiggles. And then he says game over, and then he goes back to page 2. All right. What I was thinking for this last page. And so that is my code. Trees. You can see how they look there. And remember, once again, if you're going to use the same type of code, you can drag these into each tree, and then you can just change the numbers. This one will be used for every one, so drag that into all your trees, and then you can just add a letter to Max and add a letter to the Grinch, maybe 2. So this last level, you're welcome to do anything you'd like on it. You can make more trees. You can make them move around. I was going to do something where I stack the trees, and then what happened is they would disappear, and then they would show back up. So some of them would disappear and reappear, and then when you put Max or the Grinch in there, you would never know which is which. So I'd have different stacks of trees, maybe 5 in here. Then I would add another little tree here. And then over on this side, I would shrink that down and maybe do 5 the same size there. And then hide a Max in one, hide a Grinch in another. Whatever you'd like to do in there. And this is the part where you have to be nice and creative. You have to remember which blocks do what's happening in the program. Now you can just copy my program, but it's best to know what's happening, how you can debug or fix your program if there's a problem. I hope you enjoyed this activity. Have fun with this game and do an awesome level, creative level on that 4th page. See what you can make. Happy holidays. Thank you for joining me once again.